Hello, everyone. Today we will discuss a very important topic, a first date with a Slavic lady. And I want to ask you, Svetlana, when you think about the first date with a Slavic lady, what the first tip, the most important tip comes into your mind once you think about it and once you think about questions that our clients ask about the first dates, actually?
I would say that when we are talking about Slavic women, especially about Ukrainian women, of course, it all begins with the invitation. Who invites whom to go out on the first date? And I can assure you that 100% of Slavic women, they prefer it when a man asks her out. And right now I'm working with numerous coaching clients who have Slavic backgrounds, but for example, live in States or live in Germany or live in Australia. Like I'm coaching this woman, she's 54, and then another one who's 55, and they live in New York like the vast majority of their lives. So they have immigrated in their teens. So they went to college in State. And for them, it is such a huge strategy when she has to ask a man out. I teach them how to use, for example, Tinder or Hinge, and how to use it, not in the sense that they don't know how to use their smartphones, of course not, in the sense how to use it in a smart way. And for them, to overcome the stereotype that a man has to make a first move, it's a big deal. So when we are talking about the date with a Slavic woman, of course, it will earn you extra points in her eyes if you ask her out. To have coffee, if, for example, you have met online, it will be appropriate. Like you have met, let's say, on Hinge or Tinder, and you're asking her out to have coffee like in 2 days or over the weekend. If you have met her offline, or for example, if you have met her through friends or a matchmaker has introduced you, then of course, you'd better ask her out for lunch or dinner so that she has an excuse to dress up for you, to do her hair, to wear some makeup, to put on this dating clothes, what to create this mood, this atmosphere, because it is important when you change your attire from Natalia the accountant into flirty Natalia, who is going out on a date with this cute guy she has met the other day. So I would say that the first tip, if we start from the very beginning, is to actually ask her out.
Yes, I agree with you that it's very important. We can be honest that we are Slavic ladies, and for us, it's also important. I can't remember even one case in my life that I was asking a man out or to go on a date first. So really, if I think about myself, I understand your coaching clients absolutely, because I would not. I think if for me it would be strange also to ask a guy out first. So of
Well,
course,
Katerina, but you can do it in an elegant way, or like after exchanging a few messages, let's say you're on any online platform, you can tell that I would really love to meet you. I would really like to meet you offline. I would really like it if you have asked me out to have some coffee. I would really like it to continue our communication, our dialogue while having coffee. So it's like a huge green flag that says, ask me out already. So sometimes women are more comfortable, usually women are more comfortable to phrase it like that instead of telling that, oh, let's go and grab coffee, let's go out on a date. Or I would really like it if you ask me out on a date. In a sense that, I would accept your invitation, but you must ask me out. So I think it is important to pay attention on this cultural difference. With the younger generation, like girls in their early 20s, I can say that they have a little bit different attitude, not all. Still, they prefer it when a man asks her out, but they are more flexible than, for example, women in their late 20s, early 30s, 40s, 50s, who believe in more traditional gender roles on the date.
What would you recommend about the time frame? For example, if you are talking about people who meet online but they live locally, when a gentleman has to ask her out, so for how many days or weeks they should text and he has to ask her out, or also if it is a long distance communication, if they live in different countries or cities, when it's the right time to tell that let's meet, that we already communicate online for some time and I want to meet offline. So what are the time frames of this online communication before you meet in real life?
That's a fantastic question. Actually, if you're located in the same city, even if it takes you like 30 minutes to drive and to meet, I would say that within the next 3 to 4 days, you should meet. Because otherwise, yes, you can be texted, but you know what? Texting can be exhausting, especially if you don't know the other party. So pretty much you're talking to a stranger, and the majority of men and women, they complain that, oh, texting is boring. And in my TikTok blog, I do it in Russian language on TikTok. Usually, people like there is always a huge discussion, so much critique. When women say that no, I don't need to go out with him if communication is boring, if he didn't get me at hello and blah blah blah. Of course, it's not the smart attitude. You can't really expect butterflies and quality chemistry after like hello and hi. You have to build this chemistry. You have to meet in person. So when people text for days, very often they build this unrealistic image what this man or woman will look like in real life, or how I will feel once we meet in person. And very often a real person, like, it's not like she is less beautiful or he has lied about his age or height. No, you meet a nice person, that this person is different than the image that your fantasy has created for you while you are corresponding and texting for these days. And you know what? We all like this feeling to be right. And we all like to think that, oh, my intuition has given me like all the right signals that she is the one or she is not the one. And usually when we text, a lot depends also on our mood, not on the person we are texting to. Like, you had a very exhausting long day, and not perhaps, I wanted to say vielleicht, German language interrupts my English thoughts. So perhaps it has nothing to do with this lady, with dating. You just had a bad day, like a complicated client, or not the best, the most pleasant conversation with your boss or colleague, and you're frustrated, and you believe like a woman or a man you are talking to is the reason of this frustration. So when you text, you try to fight this frustration, you try to get some positive emotions, and you believe you can't. So don't interact in this weeks-long texts if you can meet, like after just by driving for 30 minutes or like for 40 minutes. Just meet in person. So you have exchanged a few texts, you have asked each other a few questions, you see that a person is not a weirdo, or he or she is not demanding to pay for a babysitter or to send a picture of a certain body part. So just normal communication. Ask her out to have coffee if you have met online, because you know what? Online dating is like fast dating, like fast food in a way. So it makes sense only if you do it fast, because week of texting back and forth, of answering same questions she has been asked so many times, it doesn't earn you any points in her eyes. But if you are located, let's say, in different cities or in different countries, you can't just jump on a plane and meet her. It doesn't make much sense. Okay, you have been texting for a day, maybe two. Ask her out on a Zoom date. Tell her that, you know what, I would love to take you out on a real date. And I'm sure we'll take you out on a real date once we are on the stage when it's logical to meet. But for now, let's have a Zoom date. Don't call it a video call. Don't call it like, let's FaceTime. Tell her that let's have a FaceTime date. Call it a date and act accordingly. So no, you are not sitting, God forbid, in the toilet when you call her, or in your bedroom, or you're not in gym where it is loud. It's not cool when you schedule this Zoom date and you're in gym and tell her that, oh, you know what, I'm just so busy, so I will be working out and talking to you. That's disrespectful. So find a cozy, a quiet place in your apartment, in your house with good internet connection. You can discuss beforehand that it will be a coffee date. So make yourself a cup of coffee and talk. Of course, when you are having a Zoom date, and I think we have several videos on this channel about Zoom dates, it is important to keep in mind that, of course, you won't have the atmosphere to add to the date. As, for example, if you were like strolling through the park or sitting at the cozy coffee shop or restaurant, like candles on the table, it always adds up to the atmosphere, but you can still flirt, you can still compliment her, you can still have interesting discussions. And after that Zoom date, if it goes right, you can tell her that I have really enjoyed talking to you. Let's do it again, and then you schedule the date when you do it. And you know what? 2-3 dates into it, Zoom dates, for example, I assume it will take you about 2 weeks to do it, maybe 3 weeks, depending on your schedule. I would say 2 weeks would be a good idea. Of course, you will be texting in between. You will already feel whether you should meet or you shouldn't be meeting. So timing is very important. And sometimes women, my coaching clients or in blogs, people who watch the videos, they complain that, you know what, this guy, he has been texting with me, but he's not asking me out. Like, why? Does he want to be just friends to text? Is he married? What is wrong? Like, why is he not asking me out? Of course, with my coaching clients, I try to push them to actually ask him out or to motivate him to ask her out by telling that, hey, I would really love to go out with you on a date. So yes, we phrase it not like let's go out on a date, but it's an invitation. And I always tell these women, if, for example, he is not asking you out after you have written him, texted him that I would really love to go out on a date with you, or I would really love it if you have asked me out on a date, then he is not your guy, and stop talking to him, because you will waste your time. You are investing time, you are investing effort, you are not talking to other people because your attention is here, and he has no intentions or don't know what is wrong with him. He's afraid to ask you out. Anyway, it's not your problem. So ask you out, and keep in mind that timing is really important.
Yes, I totally agree with you. The timing is so important, and really those expectations that the person is building in her or in his head while he's waiting for too long to meet in real life, of course, they do not a very good job. Especially, we can say honestly that we saw it during working with our matchmaking clients, when a client was waiting, especially if for some reason, because of his job or something, he couldn't come very fast, and he had to postpone his trip. At that time, we were meeting, our clients were meeting in Kharkov, and when they meet, really his expectations, he puts them on so high level. Then when a real person, they are so strict in his imagination. Then when a real person comes on a date, even if she is very beautiful, she matches all the criteria that he wanted to find in his better half, and the date goes really well, but it's not so it's not the same like he has painted in his imagination. So it just differs, not in a bad way, it's just different in real life, because other people, they can't predict our expectations for 100%. And really those expectations, they played a bad part with it, people, and even if the date went really well, they can feel a little disappointed. And when you start to discuss it, why, what is the reason of this disappointment, you understand that it's because it didn't go by the strict scenario that they had in their head. So her dress was of another color, the music that played in the restaurant was of another type, or it was too loud, or
Katina, but usually it's about the things he felt, because in his mind he would feel like love, and he can't even describe what it is, but he believed that he would have felt it and he would knew that that's love. And in real life, well, he had a date with a beautiful woman. A conversation was interesting, and yes, he felt a little bit nervous. She felt nervous, he could tell, but he didn't feel love, because, well, that's the first date or the second date. You don't feel like love at the first or second date. For example, we also have seen it with some of our clients. They compare how they felt when they were courting, for example, when he was courting his first girlfriend or his first wife, and he wanted to feel same butterflies in the stomach, which is impossible, because with your ex-wife or ex-girlfriend, you have already built a relationship. So you compare a full relationship, like at the best point of it, of course, when it was the strongest, when the feelings were the strongest and the purest. You try to compare it to a date with a stranger whom you are meeting for the first or second time, whom you know, like literally for an hour or 2 hours. And you try to compare yourself when you were like 21 and courting your ex-wife to yourself when you are 45. The person who has experienced marriage, divorce, lots of life circumstances, and lots of things like COVID, losing jobs, climbing career ladder, losing friends. So lots of ups and downs. And you try to compare like this 45 years old guy to a 21 years old guy. And also don't forget that our memory romanticizes so strongly events that happened years ago, because like this so-called pink retrospective, it sometimes plays with the trick with us. So it makes us believe that our love was magical, our friendships when we were much younger were magical and different, when in real life, it was not like that.
Yes, and that's why it's so important to stay open-minded and not to wait for that love at first sight or that strong chemistry on the first date. So it's important to go with a desire to get to know another person and to decide if you want to continue this communication, if you want to go on the second, on the third date with that person. So don't think on the first date if you're ready to propose to that lady or if she will be the mother of your children. So don't push on yourself and don't put yourself in such frames that you have to understand it on the first date. So forget about it and go on the date, especially on the first date, to enjoy the process, to communicate with the person, to get to know each other better. So it's time to meet and to communicate and to see how it goes. And also I wanted to ask you how it is correct for the gentleman to prepare for the first date, what the Slavic lady will expect from him on the first date. So will it differ from the ladies from another countries, from Western ladies? What exactly Slavic lady will expect to happen on the first date? So how he can prepare himself to meet and what to do on the first date for her?
I think with all ladies, when you go out with any ladies, regardless if she's from States or she's from, for example, from the Ukraine or Germany, take a shower and put on the clean set of clothes, and also put on nice clothes, not something that you wear to gym. Of course, it has to be date appropriate. If you are meeting in gym, or for example, you are going out to have a hike, but again, for the first date, I don't recommend those. You're going out to drink coffee or you're going out to have lunch. Smart casual. So Slavic women, they love to dress up. And it is very disappointing when she shows up on a date wearing a nice dress, wearing high heels, wearing makeup. So she put effort. So she has invested time into this preparation. And the guy is showing up wearing like a very casual hoodie, or very casual pair of ripped jeans and like sneakers, and she's wearing high heels. So even when you look at each other, you look very different, and you don't want to create this illusion that you are very different even by the way you look. Okay, people like hoodies. I also like hoodies. I'm wearing one right now. I work from home, and if, for example, you're going out on your first date, let's say you have agreed to stroll through the park and to grab coffee there, or for example, you are going to the Christmas market to do some ice skating, then hoodie would be appropriate. But if you're going out to have lunch with a lady or having coffee, put on a nice polo shirt or button-down shirt. It is better to be a little bit overdressed than underdressed, especially if you're talking about the date with a Slavic woman, because she will put effort. Of course, there can be like one exception, because sometimes men say that, oh, I went out with this girl from Belarus or from Ukraine I have met in States, and she didn't wear a dress. And Svetlana, Katerina, you're advocating in your videos that Slavic women like sleep in dresses. No, we are not telling you such a thing. And of course, there can be exceptions, but the vast majority of Slavic women, they will put effort into looking especially good for the date. And very often I hear it from ladies, coaching clients and our database members, and people who read or watch our blogs. They complain that I was wearing a nice dress, I was wearing shoes with like stilettos, I had my hair done, and he took me to this pizza place, and I was afraid to dirty like my dress, my purse, because like obviously some kids were having pizza prior to us coming there, because you could see some sports like Coca-Cola sports. So don't put her in this position. Or for example, he takes her to doing coffee and he's dressed like if he just went out to walk his dog, or he just went to gym, and she has all dolled up for him, and he looks very different. And even when she looks at him, she understands how different they are.
Mm-hmm.
So clothes is important. Of course, if we are speaking about Slavic women, flowers are expected. And I know that there might be some critique here, because I have watched several American bloggers, female bloggers, who talk about dating, and when their subscribers ask them, should I bring flowers for the first date? These American women, they say, no, you don't bring flowers because it will make things awkward. Those are American women. If we are talking about our culture, regardless if she lives in States for 30, 20, 15 years, I have coaching clients who live there like for 30 plus years, or who have relocated as babies, like their parents have relocated during Soviet times, and the kids pretty much grew up there. Still, these women, they get, I would say, not upset in the sense that, oh, I won't go out with him on a second date, but they feel this disappointment when a guy shows up on a date without flowers. And this is why very often they prefer to date someone Slavic, someone who represents their culture, because Slavic men, they do bring flowers, especially if this date was arranged by the matchmaker, or for example, he is the son, the nephew of your mother's friend, or they have met through friends. Like Tinder, yes, in a sense, it makes dating, I would say, a little bit ruleless, because, well, it's like fast dating. You get lots of messages every day, and I can't say that flowers are expected there as much on the first date as they are if, for example, you have approached her offline, but they would love to receive flowers.
When in general, in my opinion, you're open to date someone who represents another culture, another background, you have to be ready that there are differences. Like we always say to our clients, to potential clients, we say in our videos that international dating, it's not for everyone. So it's absolutely true, and you have to understand that. But if you decide to build a relationship with a person who represents another culture, you have to be ready to accept and things
Katerina, you are breaking through.
that are normal. We can add these flowers.
Katerina, we are breaking through, but I think everything is now okay now with connection. You were talking about flowers that you have to accept, and then the picture has frozen.
Yes. Because that I was talking about flowers that, yes, in our culture, you can like it or not. But when you watch our videos, you should understand that we are telling you how it is for Slavic ladies. So how it is happening here. We are telling you about our culture.
And it looks like Katerina has disconnected. Well, we film it live, and probably she has lost internet connection. I will pick up where she has lost her connection. So flowers, yes, it's an important part in our culture. And my daughter, she was celebrating her 5th birthday, and we had some guests, like their parents. They came from different countries from ex-Soviet Union, but they live in Germany. But kids were born here in Germany, so in the Western Europe. And still, little boys have showed up on dates. It is beautiful bouquet of flowers, like small one to match their heights. And it was so cute when these boys were giving flowers to my daughter. And I was watching German parents because we were celebrating at this place where there were like several birthday parties, and I was watching like these German parents who couldn't understand why these little boys are giving my daughter this cute bouquet, and people even try to take pictures later on of these flowers that my daughter got, because it's part of the tradition. Katerina, I was speaking about the importance of flowers. And I want to add something to our first day tips because I want to have as many as possible in this video. And of course, this topic is huge. And if you want to get more knowledge and practical tips and hear more stories, you can find these videos at our channel. And I think we will share some links in the comments below. I was telling that if you're going out with like any woman, and especially if you're out on a date with a Ukrainian woman and it's your first date, please start with the compliment. If you have met online, you have met her on Tinder, tell her that she is more beautiful than her pictures. Never tell that you look different. Maybe you mean it as a compliment because you like her in person even more than her pictures, because you know what? Photos, these are just static images. They don't actually show her how she smiles. Like, you know, you can see like just the picture the moment she smiles, but what makes her smile, her reaction, how she talks, how she holds her shoulders, like how she touches her hair, like all these details. So maybe you mean it as a compliment, telling that you look different, but she won't feel it as a compliment. She will think, I'm different. How? Should I have worn that dress or my hair up? Like he couldn't recognize me. What is wrong? So tell her that you look even more beautiful than your photos. And if you have met offline before, or for example, you have met each other through friends at the event, you have been introduced by the matchmakers, tell her that she is beautiful. Tell her that you look really beautiful in this blue dress, like blue really suits you. Or I really like you with your hair up, like it highlights your beautiful neck. So, but compliments have to be sincere. There is nothing worse than like an insincere compliment, or like a standard one when you know, oh, you're so hot. No.
Yes, these compliments, you know, compliments in general, they are like spices. So they change your communication, but of course they have to be put in the right moment and in the right quantity. So when you're talking with a person and every several minutes you're telling her a compliment that, wow, you're so beautiful. And then again, in several minutes, wow, you're
Too
so
much.
beautiful. Yes, it's too much. So it has to be in the right quantity, and of course they have to be natural. So when you are telling a compliment, you should really mean it. That's why do it naturally, and don't use those cliche that maybe you can find on internet from some dating gurus or some pickup coaches that are telling you the ideas for the compliments. Believe us, ladies, they are really smart. They understand when you are telling something from your heart and really what you think, or when you just try to impress her with a compliment that she has to sit and think for several minutes what it really means. So your compliments, they have to be sincere, they have to be natural. You have to tell the truth when you are doing a compliment, and of course don't forget to give compliments to Slavic ladies, because really it's in our culture to get compliments from a gentleman. And don't be surprised that our ladies, our Slavic ladies, they also do compliments to gentlemen. So if she tells you some compliment in return, or during your communication she also gives you a compliment, it's fine. In our culture, really, ladies, they do it, and it's a part of our culture to tell nice things to each other, but we really mean it. It's not like a smile, your duty smile, when you are when we are talking, for example, about American
It's
culture.
interesting, Katerina, because very often, especially younger women, they're afraid to compliment a man because they think that he can relax and stop courting her because he can assume that she's already in love with him. Like terrible logic, but I have heard it all during coaching sessions. Yes, in States, people compliment each other, but very often they don't mean it. It's like the form of greeting. It's the form to be polite. And usually, like the first time you go to States, for me, it was like, I think 2011 or 2012. And when you walk down the street and people tell you, oh, I love your shoes, or I love your watches, or I love your hair, or I love your dress. And you're like, wow, she loved my shoes, or she loved my dress. And you feel like everybody is so friendly, attentive. But after you spend some time there, you understand that it's like in Europe, usually in Germany, people usually just nod their heads when you see a neighbor. They don't tell you, like Germans in this regard, they're very similar to Ukrainians. They don't do smiling faces, like for example in the States. So they just look you in the eye and nod, and it means that you know each other. Probably you're living in the same street. So in our culture in Ukraine, and same I can tell about Germany, if, for example, somebody would tell me that your dress is so pretty, I would know for sure that my dress is pretty because this person means it. It's not like she told the same line to 20 other strangers that day, like in the form of being polite instead of the German nod. No, she means it. For example, in the ladies' room, while washing hands, another lady tells me that your hair is so pretty. Is it natural? And I understand that this German lady, she's really curious and she really liked my hair. So with Slavic women, if she has complimented you, she means it. It's not the form of greeting. It's not the way to be polite. Same with this question, how do you do? Like if you ask a Ukrainian person or a Slavic person, a Kazakh person, like, how do you do? Or how are you? You will get a long answer. The person will tell you that, oh, it rains for 3 days and I have this headache and I was late to work. Yes, you will have all the details. Same happens in Poland, by the way. So when people ask, how are you? They ask, how are you? Only people they truly care about, because they don't want to hear all these details. In States, you ask, how are you? That's the form of saying hello, hi. So nobody expects the answer. And I remember my first time there, when people were asking me, how are you? Especially like friends of friends of friends, I was like, oh, everybody wants to know about my day. And I have started sharing details. So it's different. And when you date someone who represents another culture, you have to keep it in mind. So Yes, in our culture, like Ukrainians, you can't, people will tell that we are harsh and we don't smile. We smile when we mean it. We compliment people when we mean it. So sometimes people can assume that, oh, this person is not friendly. And I would say that in our culture, people are very direct. So when you like something, you tell it. When you don't like something, you can read it on the face of the person. So when the face is neutral, that's a neutral situation for this person. So on a date, when she tells you that she likes your shirt, it's not an American, I like your shirt. It's a Ukrainian, or it's a Polish, or it comes from Belarus, that I like your shirt. So you have to keep it in mind.
Yes, that's true. If we say something, then we really mean it and we do it sincere. And I wanted to finish this video with the discussion, small discussion, how it is how it is better to finish the date correctly. So it's very important, when people, for example, they are sitting, they're already talking for several hours. A man or a woman, they understand that it's already time to finish the date, but they are afraid to look not polite, to stop it, or to say, okay, let's go home, or something like that. So how it is nice to finish the
Ask
date?
her out on a second date. So it's logical. Okay, you have been talking for 2 hours, and or for example, almost 3 hours. And I hope that you got some food, so you were not just sitting with one espresso for 3 hours. You can tell her that I really love our conversation, and I really like you. I really like our date. So something that you like, don't tell that I love you already after the first date. I really like talking to you. I really like our date. How about we meet again? Let's go out on a second date. Will Friday, 7 p.m. work for you? Or for example, will Saturday, 10 a.m. work for you? Let's do brunch. And then you discuss when and where you meet. When you offer the exact time and date, it's harder to say no. Like, what, you already start negotiating the date. So you can ask her, of course, if weekend, for example, working week works better for you. If she says weekend, then choose some time over the weekend. So it's logical, ending of the first date to schedule the second date. Then it is a set deal. Then you know what? Probably if some men think that, oh, it will make him less mysterious and desirable. No, it means that if she has enjoyed the date with you, most likely she won't open Tinder when she gets home, because she already had the second date. It's the set deal. On Saturday, she has a date. So she will return back home knowing that she has a date on Saturday. But if, for example, you've talked to each other and at the end of the date, you're like, okay, bye. It was nice getting to know you. She can assume that you didn't like her, and that's we all don't like rejection, and it's natural that she will think that, okay, he didn't like me. Next, I will look for the next guy, and hopefully, like, the next person will be my person. So if you don't want her to go and to start talking to someone on Tinder, schedule the date. Because while you're waiting for these 2-3 days, like playing this game that I have to wait for 3 days to text her, then it will make her like me more. No, she will return back home. She will talk to some other guy. Or tomorrow in the morning in the coffee shop, while she's waiting for her morning coffee, a guy in line will start talking to her and will ask her out. She will say yes if she liked his smile, because she is single and she is looking for a relationship. So while you are waiting for 3 days to text her, she will grab coffee with another guy who would be smarter than you are regarding this whole dating thing, and he would ask her out on a second date. And pretty much when you text her like, hey, 3 days later, like, do you want to meet again? She will tell that, I know, I'm actually like seeing someone for the second date already. Like, we made plans.
Please don't play those mysterious guys. It's a bad strategy, and it's true that it's so important to discuss the second date in the right time, because one of the main questions that we ask our clients when they come from the first date: have you discussed the second one? So it's always one of our first questions to our clients.
And what the ladies tell us as the feedback, it's usually like, he has asked me on a second date. It's like the first point that she's telling. And we know that it means that the date went well. Of course, I ask, and what did you say? And usually she said that, yes, I said yes. And then she starts babbling about things they are going to do. So if the first date was an okay date, you do not build these expectations that there will be insta love, crazy butterflies. It was a normal okay date. You have enjoyed yourself. Ask her out on second date, because second dates are usually way more fun and way more relaxed than the first one, because you have already seen each other. You know what to expect. You have established a certain chemistry, like the first tiny level of it, tiny layer. And now it is time to explore it more, if there can be a connection, if you could build this connection.
Even if you memorize the situation when you discuss it with your friends, the first thing you're asking a friend who came from a date: have you discussed the second one, or have you asked her out for the second time? So it's the
I think it's in our culture, in Slavic culture. Maybe guys will from the States will comment below this video if, for example, you are discussing it with your friends, because there is a difference. Like, for example, in Germany, for first dates, if you look at younger people, like teenagers and early 20s, they have this walking dates. They walk. So they grab coffee or drinks and they walk. So everybody is walking, and at first I was shocked that that's the date. But I think it's actually nicer than to text for weeks. So a walking date can be a good idea. And by the way, if you want, we can do a separate video for you, how you can play it cool, like with the walking date, and when you should do it. So please write in the comments below.
And in general, please write in the comments below what questions do you have more about the first dates. Maybe you want us to discuss some smaller topic connected with the first date, something in detail connected with it. And I want to remind you in the end that you're watching Diolli channel, and now it's time to press like to this video, to subscribe to our channel. Yes, my name is Katerina Romanenko. I'm the executive director at Diolli.com, and today I was talking with our founder, our leading matchmaker, Svetlana Mucha. We were discussing the first date, and we were discussing tips for the first dates. On our YouTube channel, you can find videos, I think, connected with almost all topics that will tell you about international dating in general, a relationship between people, and we publish every week several new videos. So you can subscribe to our channel to put a bell even to hear when we publish a new video. So we have small videos, reels that you can also watch. So plenty of information for you to be familiar with our culture, to be more relaxed and comfortable about dating in general. So I hope that it will be all useful for you, and we are happy to make these videos for you. And of course, we are waiting for your comments and likes to this video. Goodbye.
We will see you in the next one. Bye.